Hi, welcome to Robyn's Roost. Today we're going to make a fun outside in fun fold card. And we're going to be using the Beach Day stamp set and dies. And this actually fold, I first was shown it by Lori Zomer, who was a friend and stamper who passed away from cancer. And then I just saw it recently by Rachel Tessman did this card, or this card fold, and I was like, oh wow, I haven't done that in a long time, and made me think of Lori, which was kind of fun. And we're going to be doing this beachy card. So let's just flip the camera and I'll show you how to do it. So we're going to start with a piece of cardstock that has been cut in half the long ways. So this is 11 inches by 4 1/4. And then we're going to go ahead and score it at 2 1/4 and 5 1/2. This is going to give us our card base. Now, to have our piece to have our flap, we're going to need to cut little edges off of each side. So to do that, we're just going to put this in here and cut down from the score line down to the end at 5/8. So on my trimmer, I like to go to half, which is 4/8, right? And then move it over to the next mark of the 1/8. Whatever works for your you can just go to 5/8 too. And then we're just going to cut down. And then we're going to go ahead and do that same thing on the other side. And I like to cut from the score line down. I find it easier to get that right spot. I just line it up with the score line. Now you can either cut these on your trimmer, or you can take your scissors and just cut off these tabs. Now, I had a hard time seeing that because I didn't want to stick my head in there, so I'm just going to go finish this cut with my scissors. So that's all there is to doing this base. So you're going to have this piece that's going to flip back and forth. And now I can see I didn't quite get these lined up with my score line when I cut it. So I'm just going to trim these off so they're even and you don't see that score line. Just a little touch up there. So now I'm going to pull in our other pieces that I've already cut. Now I do have I die cut a tree. This is going to be for a palm tree. That's going to be for the inside. I'll just put that off to the side. Now we need a piece that is 3 inches, and that's going to totally cover our flap by 4 1/2. And we can just go ahead and glue this on. With whichever kind of glue you prefer. And you're just going to line this up on your edge so it's even, and it should match up with your sides, so that when you open the card, you're going to have this is going to stay open with the card. Now our piece that we're designing on is a 1/4 inch smaller, so it is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. If I remember my measurements right. And then I have a piece for the inside that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So these are our two things we're going to be stamping on. And I want to start by adding a little bit of color to my sky here. And I'm just going to take some Tahitian Tide, which is my base color. And I'm going to add a little sky. Oh, and I got a little dark there, but I guess it's a really, really bright sky today. And I'm going to come down about 1/3 of the way maybe. And then actually for my inside, I'm going to add a little bit. Now, I don't want to get any of my color on this part that's going to show here. So I just want it over here a little bit, and I really hope I don't get that one as dark. And then as long as we are doing this, I want to add a little bit of sand on the bottom too for my inside. And that's going to be crumb cake. And we'll just kind of add that same layer there, just a little bit. And then before I go on, I'm just going to give my my mat a little bit of a wipe. So now next, I want to have a little bit of sand across the bottom. And I had a piece here to do that with. So I had to go and cut myself another piece since I lost that one. So this is 1 inch by 4 1/4 or thereabouts. It looks like I got it a little bit crooked, but I'm just going to make a rough edge for my sand. And you could go back and make that a little darker if you wanted. And then I need to do a little, actually let's glue this down because that's not going anywhere. Just go ahead and glue this, our sand, down. And now I want to make my my umbrella and my chair. So I'm just going to sit on my beach chair and enjoy the ocean. And then I also want to stamp my sandcastle, and I'm going to stamp that directly on a piece of crumb cake. I'm not going to color the sandcastle because it's it looks pretty good not colored, or I mean done on the cardstock rather than coloring it. I did try stamping my pieces directly onto colored paper, but I didn't like that as well. But if you don't like to color, that would be a great option too, is just to stamp your umbrella and your chair onto some colored cardstock. Just a little FYI for you. Okay, so now I am going to color these, and I'm going to do a nice dark sweet sorbet umbrella. And I'm not going to do any fancy coloring. You could go ahead and use the dark and the light and shade it in. And we're going to be all coordinated for this one, right? We're just going to do a matching chair. And again, you could use a darker color here on the seat of the chair. Okay. Now I will go and cut these out. Now I just wanted to share with you this die set. Look at all the dies that are in here. There's just tons of fun beach stuff to go along with the stamp set. And I'm using very little of it today, just a couple of items, right? The chair and the palm tree. I did use the palm tree. and the umbrella and the sandcastle, but there's also this huge lifeguard shack, which there is a matching stamp for, and we've got waves, and we could have done our sand with this edger, which would have made it smooth. We have some fencing, our surfboard, a shell, flag and a life buoy, some grass, beach ball. We could cut our birds out. I think that's what that is the birds. And oh, here's another bird. That's our chair. We've got our palm trees. We have a couple different top bushes, the fronds, and then I wanted to call it a stem, but I guess it's a trunk, right? It's a tree. So let's just go ahead and finish putting our pieces together. We're just going to put our little sandcastle down here. And we'll get our umbrella set. Get our beach chair all comfy under our umbrella. And then let's add a few birds, because there's always birds at the beach, right? I'm going to find him here. Okay. We're just going to do some flying birds. You could also do some of them walking on the beach. But for this card, we're just going to have them flying. So we'll have kind of a flock of them flying through. And then this is just going to get adhered right on there. Now, you could do a piece of designer series paper here, or maybe some an embossing folder, and I just couldn't find anything that I liked in my stash that I have here to go with that, so I left it just plain. And then we have our inside piece, which is going to go this way, and this is where I'm going to pull in my palm tree. Our palm tree is going to go. And there are several greetings that would work just perfect for this, but this one is sending sunshine your way. Let's get my palm tree in here first. And you have to remember, you don't want, like, these little corners are going to show through on your front. So strategically place anything that you'd want there. Like maybe you'd want a flower, or I don't know, a crab or something, but maybe that seashell. You could put the seashell there. But I'm just going to leave this one plain. And then your greeting too, you're going to want it to be in the center where it's going to be covered up when the card is closed. And then we'll just add a little adhesive. Now you might notice that I'm randomly using two different kinds of adhesive, just however the mood strikes me, right? I like to use the Stampin' Seal Plus, and I also like the liquid glue. So for kind of smaller pieces, I usually use the liquid glue. I feel like I'm forgetting something. So there is our card. It's pretty simple. Once you get the little corners cut out of here, that's really the only tricky part of it. Let me just show you a couple other ones. Here's another one made exactly like this one, except I've got different colors. And then I also did one using the Celebration, the watermelon stamp set. And this one I did add the some extra designer series paper on here, and there's an extra mat. And then here's how it looks when it's opened. So hope you enjoy this this fun fold. I don't know, did I show you? Okay, here's how, you know, if somebody sets it up on their desk, here's how it's going to look. You're going to see the front and the inside. Hope you enjoyed this. If you need any supplies, just head on over to my store. I'll have the link below. Thanks for stopping by at the Roost.